I hope everybody is well. It's not a great day for news. It's not the but yesterday we had a lot of good news yesterday. I'm sure you guys noticed we had like a lot of good news comparatively speaking. So I feel like that's sort of the equilibrium in the universe. Like you get good news for a day, and then you get something breaking that is not so good. And this is just one of those, for instances. This is some not so good news at all. Howdy, Tim. Good to see you. I hope you are well. I hope all your dreams are coming true. Why not? Sure. That is what I hope. All right, let's get going here because we got a lot to get through. And only so much time. Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer curated streaming news show. That means you guys tweet me the ideas, you send me articles. That's how we build the show. And this was sent to me very first this morning, and a number of you have sent it. A number of you have dropped it in our Reddit subsection because this was pretty breaking, and this is a pretty significant news story, and we're going to lead with it, of course. And it's not very good news. Bernie Sanders undergoes heart procedure after experiencing chest discomfort. Joe, my editor, sent this to me. A number of you have sent this to me. It was in our Reddit subsection. So let's see what's going on. Bernie, not so good news when it comes to Bernie. Bernie Sanders, this is according to The Hill, a 2020 White House hopeful underwent a procedure to have 2 stents inserted to address an artery blockage after experiencing chest discomfort. This happened yesterday on Tuesday. So Jeff Weaver, a senior advisor to Sanders' campaign, said in a statement on Wednesday that the Vermont senator would spend the next few days recovering from the procedure and that his campaign events would be canceled until further notice. Weaver is saying that Senator Sanders is conversing and in good spirits. He will be resting up over the next few days. We are canceling his events. This, according to Jeff Weaver, we are canceling his events and appearances until further notice, and we will continue to provide appropriate updates. So Bernie had a heart procedure. He had an artery blockage. He'll likely be fine. I mean, these are kind of standard things that happen. He will likely be fine. Of course, it is concerning. And of course, there is the reality that Bernie is, not super young. Now, that being said, this is a standard thing. He should be fine. And hopefully he recovers very quickly. Hopefully it is a full recovery. And hopefully he is back on the campaign trail very soon. I'm saying this as somebody who spent years on the road. I don't know how Bernie does it. The schedule that man keeps, from what little exposure to it I've had, the amount of events he does, the amount of, and when his voice was hoarse at that debate, it seems like they overdid it a little bit. I don't think I could maintain a schedule like that, and I am a lot younger than Bernie. He maintains a very extensive schedule. The reason I bring this up is because I think it's fair to say that Bernie, for his age, is in incredible health. I think if Bernie was the Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, he would be publishing article after article about how great his health is and how often he could have sex if he chooses to. Bernie could totally be doing that because he seems like he's in great health. An artery blockage is kind of a very standard thing. It's a very common procedure, but it's important you rest up. It's important you don't push your boundaries. It's important you don't push your luck. So this is really, this sucks. This is terrible news. And of course, there's, people on Twitter with absolutely ridiculous responses to it. I responded to a Pete Buttigieg person who then later made their tweets private about the whole thing. So, but, I was going to highlight some of that stuff. And then I thought, why stoop to the Democratic establishment's level? I was going to highlight some of the tweets that various people on Twitter were saying that were just totally classless responses. But it's like, why stoop to the level, whenever whenever some Bernie supporter says something kind of insensitive or tone deaf, it's Bernie's responsibility. He needs to apologize for every single one of his supporters, and they all need to be generalized. Why would I then go and do that to another candidate? It's just not worth it. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stoop to their level. I'm not going to highlight what some supporters of different candidates are saying on Twitter, because I'm sure that doesn't reflect the view of a candidate. You know, Pete Buttigieg, just using him as a for instance, that guy gets on a soapbox about civility every opportunity he gets. So I'm sure he does not embrace his supporters saying horrible things about how Bernie should drop out and using this as a political hit piece when a man needed a heart procedure. I guarantee Pete Buttigieg, who I don't agree with, does not endorse that. I guarantee that Beto O'Rourke would not endorse that from his supporters. I guarantee even Kamala Harris would not endorse something like that. Joe Biden probably isn't even aware that this happened yet. So I don't know. I mean, for Joe Biden, like he's just waking up and having his morning ice cream. He doesn't have a clue, just whatever. But my point is, but I will highlight this. This is pretty astonishing. We're going to watch this video. So that's what's going on with Bernie Sanders. And as you guys recall, Hillary Clinton is on her tour. She's doing a big media tour now. And here's what she had to say on The View. Boy, is this epic. All right. You guys ready for this? Here we go. Let me make sure the volume's up.
About Bernie. Sending him.
So they're saying you heard about Bernie. All right. So here we go.
Just heard about Bernie. Sending him.
She clapped her hand. Did you see that? Yes. She clapped her hand. And all right, we're gonna watch the whole thing. Video, check it.
You just heard about Bernie. Sending him your best.
Wish him and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And if you
she had to get walked through that by Whoopi Goldberg. Like, it was almost like she didn't know what to say. So Whoopi Goldberg had to walk her through it. Here's what you say. You wish, you send him your best. You wish. All right. So here, we're going to watch the whole thing now.
So, you just heard about Bernie. Sending him your
Clap
best.
her hands.
wish him and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And if you have chest pains, please go to the doctor.
Yes.
Particularly men, because although heart disease is more pervasive in women, it's more fatal to men because men wait too long.
Yeah.
So I just am so grateful that Senator Sanders had a chest pain yesterday and immediately went to the doctor, which is what we hope any man in our lives would do.
Yeah.
So thank you for being a good example, and I hope he gets cool.
Wow. Wow. Hillary Clinton and Chelsea's response was also, she used it as an opportunity to make a PSA about men when you have chest pain. Go to the doctor. Men, we need to be taking health advice from Chelsea Clinton, the person who thinks pot still needs to be researched more. That's who we need health advice from. But Hillary, this is why Hillary Clinton lost to Trump. You look at this response here. Let's watch just her response one more time. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. All right, let's go back.
So, you just heard about Bernie. Sending him your best.
Wish him and hope for the best.
She didn't even know what she was saying there. She's like, yeah, wish him. Like, it was like someone just handed her a script, and she was like, wish him the best. Yeah, I'm hoping for the Whoopi Goldberg had to guide her through that, so she didn't say something repulsive and stupid. So she didn't say something like, yeah, I guess he's not gonna. Maybe it's time for someone else to jump in. I don't know. So she didn't do that. Whoopi Goldberg had to guide her through it. Be like, so you wish him the best? Yeah, wish him the best. And she didn't know. Here is why Hillary Clinton lost to Trump. Here's why. Well, there's many reasons why. But here's the biggest reason why. She has been a grossly unpopular politician for her entire career. Why is that? Well, a big part of it, first of all, she's been on the wrong side on a lot of things. And even things where she was on the right side at one point, she would switch over to the wrong one, i.e. healthcare. She was on the right side at one point, then switched over. But a big part of it is also her incredibly unlikable personality. Why does she have such an unlikable personality? Well, because this video told you everything you need to know. She is not capable of showing empathy. She doesn't know how. And we've all met people like that in our lives. We all know people like that. People that just, they don't, which I think is a form of a sociopath, pretty much. And I'm not even trying, this is not intended as an insult. This is not, this is intended as just a fact. Like she's not, like she doesn't know how to do it. She doesn't know how to show empathy. Because she doesn't have it. And we know people like that. Ironically, the biggest Hillary supporter that I know shares that trait. That person also does not know how to show empathy. Like they just don't understand it. They don't know empathy. And that's what that video clip revealed. She doesn't, like, she just doesn't know what it is. She doesn't know how to show it. She doesn't have it. But that was kind of funny, at least. I mean, wow. Holy, Jesus. Yeah, I think, what do humans say about other humans when they feel badly? I wish him the best. Whoopi, are you wishing him the best? And then Chelsea, yeah, and if you're a guy, you should go to the doctor or something starts to hurt. Your heart hurts. And we know men, they're all like, I'm fine. Derp or derp. They should totally go to the doctor. They should totally go to the doctor. Wow. So hopefully Bernie makes a full recovery, and hopefully he makes it very quickly. And as far as responses go, I mean, we could show some stuff on Twitter of people responding horribly and people responding the right way. You know, a lot of the other candidates, they did the diplomatic thing, which is what you can expect them to do. But I mean, nothing's going to top that response right there. In some ways, thank you, Hillary Clinton, for having media on this particular day. So you could give us just something absolutely ridiculous and repulsive to talk about. This is who loses to Trump. This is who loses to Trump. Trump, who is repulsive in every way, who is beyond repulsive, who says repulsive things on a daily basis, who tweets repulsive things on a daily basis. Hillary Clinton somehow managed to lose to that guy because she lacks any form of empathy. She doesn't know what that is. Wow. That was something. That video was something. And wow. And if she is on a ticket in 2020, maybe Liz Warren's going to pick her as a VP. I don't know. That ticket will for sure lose to Trump. I mean, I think pretty much if it's not Bernie, Trump's going to be president again. I do think that. But if Hillary Clinton is on any ticket, she will sink that ticket. If Liz Warren picks her as a VP, if Joe Biden picks her as a VP, and, you know, she's doing media, so we're led to think that maybe she's going to jump in some capacity. Any ticket she's on, that ticket will lose to Trump. And then when it does, progressives will be blamed again. Not the person who is incapable of raising her poll numbers, because every time she speaks, people like her less. Because she doesn't understand empathy. That's one of many reasons why people like her less. She doesn't understand it. And I don't know what causes people to be that way. I mean, we all know someone like, we have an ex who's like that, or we have, you know, a former friend, or we might have a family member who's kind of estranged. I don't know what causes that in a person, because I'm not a licensed psychologist, but you don't need to be a licensed psychologist to know when, oh, this person, empathy, they don't get it. They just don't understand it. They don't have it at all for anybody. That's why they'll go on air and say things like, we came, we saw, he died. Or they won't know how to send somebody well wishes when they have an emergency heart procedure. The person who's been your colleague for over 25 years. The person who, when they could have went after you a lot harder, didn't. And kept it about policy. And didn't make it personal attacks. And still got blamed for your loss anyway. Bernie was so soft on Hillary, it was unreal. Still got blamed for her loss anyway, after he campaigned for her and got behind her, hurting his own career for it. He campaigned for her. More Sanders supporters voted for Hillary Clinton at the end of the day than Hillary supporters voted for Obama in 2008. Obama still won by a landslide. He still got blamed when she lost, by herself even, in her own stupid book. Her stupid book where she said, "Why does everyone hate me? Why don't you like me? Why don't people like me?" Because you display publicly that you don't understand empathy, Hillary Clinton. You walk into a house that's not a mansion and you look like somebody just handed you a shit-filled diaper because you are so repulsed at being in the home of a normal person. Because when somebody asks you about fracking, you need to be rude and condescending to them when they're a child. Because when someone approaches you about Black Lives Matter, you tell them to get in the corner and shut up. And because when Bernie Sanders, the person who did everything he could to help you and you still lost anyway, has a heart procedure, you can't even send well wishes without being guided through it by Whoopi Goldberg. You don't understand what to say. You clap your hand. If she is anywhere on the campaign trail in 2020, we're getting 4 more years of Trump. We're getting more Trump if she is anywhere on the campaign trail. I think even her endorsement is a liability. Ask Andrew Gillum. Bad news today is my point. Bad news today is my point. And I hope Bernie gets better very, very soon. And I hope he's back on the campaign trail very, very soon. And I hope a full and speedy recovery. And guys, once again, I know we've had some changes here at the show. And one of those changes involves some sponsors. And today's no different. We have another sponsor. So if you'll please bear with me, we do have another sponsor for you today. Please give them an open heart and an open mind and hear them out, what they have to say. I'm not exactly sure who the sponsor is because I have a new hire who is helping me attain these sponsors. But they did say, "Ron, is it okay if not all the sponsors have the same political leanings as you and the same views as you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess it's okay. You know, I'm willing to hear from other people." All right. So here's what they got for me, and we'll see what this sponsor has to say. We'll be right back after a word from the sponsor. Hi, this is John Bolton. If you're watching this show, you're probably a socialist, commie, anarchist, or one of those other terms that Fox News always uses properly. But I'm here to tell you about my new business endeavor and what is happening next in my career. First, I need to address what I've been dedicating all my time to. I've been dedicating all my time to an existential threat that threatens our future on this planet as we know it. Experts in this field say that we have 12 years to act before we reach the point of no return. Some people say we have as few as 5 years. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Iran. It is a threat we must do something about immediately. And what better way to act than to influence the new generation of young people? That's why I'm announcing my new career as a children's book author. I've already released 2 classics. That's Not a UFO, Timmy. Hopefully that's a drone, where you can teach your child about outer space and about the joys of endless war at the same time. And then, of course, there's my newest release, the Pro Second Amendment Training Manual, Remember, kids, gun rhymes with fun. You can find these books at www.johnboltonchildrenseries.com. So go buy my book, you crazy commie. Remember, give cash to the stash. Now back to your regularly scheduled, ridiculous, commie, fascist, anarchist, socialist, whatever ridiculous terms I want to throw at it, show. Wow. Okay. I did not, all right. I did not realize that, I did not realize I was going to be John Bolton. All right. I need to have a conversation with, I need to have a conversation with my person there. That's a little much. John Bolton, I don't think I can go there. That's, a little too much for me, but there you go. John Bolton, he's writing children's books now. If you want to check it out, I guess check it out. Honestly, I don't encourage it. I'm sorry, but I just don't. But yeah, John Bolton, next step in his career, writing children's books. Kind of weird. All right, moving on. This is going on. So Tim shares this, and Tim, thank you for sharing this because this is really neat. I just kind of looked into this a little bit because it looks really, really interesting. Gross domestic product. How street artist Banksy turned bizarre trademark dispute into a fundraiser for migrant rescue ship. All right, so what's going on with Banksy? A lot of you guys know Banksy, the street artist. He spends a lot of his time in London. He does a lot of kind of street art. So here's what's happening. A greeting card company's attempts to take over the trademark to Banksy's name led the anonymous artist to create a new project designed to protect the rights to his name with the larger goal of supporting asylum seekers' rights. This is so cool. Overnight, well, it's not cool that this is happening to him, but this is a really interesting response. Overnight Tuesday, Banksy unveiled a storefront under the name Gross Domestic Product in the London suburb of Croydon. The store's merchandise will only be sold online for the next 2 weeks in order for Banksy to establish a way to satisfy the UK legal system that he owns and is actively utilizing his trademark. The store is the result of a dispute with the company that attempted to take over Banksy's trademark, an action that they were legally able to take because the artist does not sell merchandise. So Banksy's lawyer is speaking out about this. All proceeds from gross domestic product sales will go towards a new migrant rescue boat to replace a Spanish NGO ship, Open Arms, that was confiscated by Italian authorities last year after it docked in a port carrying more than 200 refugees. Okay, so I'm not fluent in that story. The story that's referring to, I'm not fluent in that. I don't know all the details there. But what's basically going on here, Banksy, the street artist Banksy, there's a law in the UK that if you're not using your trademark, then you lose it. Banksy doesn't sell merchandise, so technically they're saying he's not using his trademark. So Banksy, in response to that, a greeting card company, because, you know, capitalism's moral. So a greeting card company wanted to just steal the man's trademark. They wanted to just say, let's just use his trademark to make money. The Banksy brand has value to a lot of people and a lot of fans. We're just going to steal it. That's what they decided to do. Because this guy doesn't participate in a capitalist society, or at least, I mean, technically he participates a little bit because we all do, but he participates as little as he can while still being able to sustain himself. They're saying, well, technically we're entitled to his trademark. Do you see how disgusting that is? And do they list the trading card company? Because if they do, let's see. I feel like this company should be named, because I personally will never buy a card from them. Not that I'm really in the business of greeting cards. Here, let's see if we can find it. Here, I'll Google it here. Greeting card company. All right, I'll just Google greeting card company Banksy. All right, so what I want is the name of the store. Let's see if The Guardian tells us. All right, gross domestic product. All right, a greeting card. Oh, so I guess they might not have released it. Okay, so here's his lawyer. Huh. Well, I hope that it looks like we don't know the name of the company, or at least I'm not able to find it here on the spot. But if we do, please leave it in the comment section. Please, you know, because that greeting card company deserves to be called out for that. And I hope that it yields a bunch of consequences for them. If I find out the name of that greeting company, I will never buy a greeting card from them ever again. I probably never did if they're a greeting company in the UK. I don't live over there. So, but I won't. I will continue doing my activity. Like that's kind of funny. That is sort of funny. Like it's like you do what you can, and you try to be a wise consumer, and you do your best while also having, you get it. Like when a lot of people are like, when McDonald's is doing something terrible once again, and people are like, now is the time to boycott McDonald's, and I'm like, all right, I will keep doing the same thing I've been doing for years. Yeah, okay. So I will act on that, but it won't change anything. So I haven't gone there in years. I will keep doing exactly what I'm doing. I didn't know I was being an activist by not going to McDonald's, which part of the reason I don't go is my health. I don't want to eat that garbage because it's not even food. That's why whenever we're boycotting Burger King now, I'm like, okay, nothing will change for me. We're boycotting Taco Bell. All right. Yep. I've been doing this a long time. Do I get, are you passing out stickers or something? What do we get for this? I'm going to boycott this greeting card. But seriously, how gross is that to do by this greeting card company? And that's so cool. I like Banksy's response here. So hopefully we find out the name of that company. Tim, thanks for sharing that. That's a funny story. That's kind of cool news. It's bittersweet news, right? Because it's disgusting that a company can do this and that a company would. Who in that greeting card company sleeps easy at night? No, because someone decided to do that. You know what I mean? Like somebody in the marketing department decided to do that. They decided, hey, this guy's not using his trademark, which means we can take it from him. So we should do that because the brand that he built up through his own talent and his own work, we can steal that and confuse people. Somebody proposed that idea. Why do you want to be the good guy? I mean, Bill Hicks had a great bit about marketing and advertising, by the way. But why would you want to just be the bad guy? Just, hey, I have this really evil idea. Can we bring it up at the next board meeting? Of course. That's where we propose our evil ideas. Most of the evil ideas are born in marketing. And then you see other people that are, and again, I'm not trying to overgeneralize here because there are some people who are experts in marketing who use their powers for good. All right, I'm not going to overgeneralize the entire field, of course, because there are a lot of people who use their powers for good. This greeting card company sure as hell ain't one of them. So good on Banksy for fighting back in the way he's fighting back. Or she. We don't know Banksy's identity. I shouldn't have assumed. Banksy for them fighting back the way they're fighting back. I don't know. I think, do we at least know that Banksy's a guy, or do we not even know that? I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in Banksy. I've seen Exit through the gift shop. That's all I've seen. And I don't think, I don't buy that the actual Banksy was in there. I think that he was. So, but as far as Banksy goes, I'm not an expert. A lot of people know a lot more than me. Anyway. But I think this is pretty cool. And what a ridiculous, man. Let's find out the name of that greeting company. Make sure we never buy anything from them. All right. So this is a story that Free Julian Assange shared on Twitter for a proposal that Liz Warren has. So let's check this out. Elizabeth Warren proposes steep lobbying taxes on top U.S. companies. All right, so Elizabeth Warren on Wednesday, that's today, unveiled details of a tax on lobbying that would cost some of the biggest U.S. corporations hundreds of millions of dollars. Under her proposals, companies that spend between $500,000 and $1 million a year on lobbying would pay a 35% tax on their expenditures. The rate would increase to 60% for spending of more than $1 million and to 75% above $5 million. Warren, who is a Democratic presidential candidate and Massachusetts senator, has made fighting the influence of corporations a centerpiece of her campaign. Okay, so obviously this isn't a bad thing. This isn't a bad policy idea. This is a good policy idea. But why not just try to get all dark money out of politics? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Liz Warren is going to be fine with taking that money in the general. And that's kind of the problem. There is one appropriate number of dollars, of corporate dollars, that should be allowed in our politics. You know what that number is? 0. The same number of superdelegates that should exist. 0. There's one appropriate number. 0. So, yeah, this isn't a bad idea, but this is one of those things where it's another incremental solution to a catastrophic problem. Money in politics is connected to virtually all of our problems. Literally all of our problems. Why doesn't Flint have clean water? What can be traced back to money in politics? Why don't we have net neutrality? Can be traced back to money in politics. Why is there poverty in this country? Can be traced back to money in politics. Why don't we have healthcare? Money in politics. Why don't we have tuition-free college? Money in politics. Because the loan companies are in bed with our politicians. Because the health insurance industry is in bed with our politicians. Because Wall Street is in bed with our politicians. Pretty much every issue, money in politics. Big root of why it's an issue. So we're going to tax you a little bit. We're going to tax you a little bit on these lobbying dollars, where you spend plenty of lobbying dollars and still have plenty left over. Well, now a couple drops are going to go into taxes now. Yeah, obviously it's not a bad thing taxing them more. Of course not. But this is an incremental solution to a catastrophic problem. And we can't afford that right now. We can't afford an incremental presidency. We just can't. Because even if that incrementalist somehow beats Trump, which I don't think they will. I don't think Liz Warren will beat Trump. I don't think Pete Buttigieg will beat Trump. I don't think Joe Biden for sure wouldn't beat Trump. You have to be in a fantasy land if you think Joe Biden has a remote chance against Donald Trump. Liz Warren might have a chance. And I'm just speaking objectively here. She might have a chance. And that's not the presidency we need, because it would be 4 more years of centrism and incrementalism, and then a Republican would win again in 2024, and we'd go back to where we're at. Because we need a sharp turn right now. We need an FDR-style presidency right now. We need it. We can't settle for less. But anyway, this is, again, it's like, yeah, this isn't a bad thing, but this is an incremental solution to a catastrophic problem. That's what this is. All right. So R.F. Hartwell shared this in the Reddit subsection, and I feel it's important to end on a little bit of good news. But before we end, first we're going to go to the song of the day, and rather, it's more of an artist of the day. Here, let me pull this up here. All right. So let me read this to you guys. Hi, Ron. The bassist from Burning Rubber here. I'm a fan of the Jimmy Dore Show, as well as Get Your News On with Ron. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for writing. I think you might dig our band's EP we released about a month ago. If you care to check it out, you can find it on YouTube under the title Burning Rubber, Where Can I Give Plasma? Which funny title. I dig that. It's an EP. It's on YouTube. Thanks, Ron. Keep being awesome at what you're doing. Signed, Bernie. Bernie, thank you very much for sharing that. Bernie is the bassist in Burning Rubber, which a lot of burns in there. And I listened to Burning Rubber. Really cool post-punk music. The guitar work kind of reminded me of like a mesh between Fugazi and Nirvana. Like there were definitely some really melodic hooks there that kind of reminded me of like a kind of 90s Nirvana-esque riffing, but then like the noise and the fuzz and the distortion kind of reminded me of Fugazi a little bit. And I mean that in a good way, because I'm a huge Fugazi fan and I'm a huge Nirvana fan. And the vocals reminded me a little bit of Arcade Fire. I really dug it. It's really great music. I listened to the entire EP. I recommend listening to it. You can just find it on YouTube. Just type in Burning Rubber, spelled normally, B-U-R-N-I-N-G, Rubber, R-U-B-B-E-R. Where Can I Give Plasma? Which is, I love that title. That's a great title. That's really funny, especially for like a kind of noise, post-punky music. And you guys are great. You're putting out great stuff. Please let me know when you play LA. I would love to check out the show. I try to get to live music as often as I can, especially when I'm in town. And I do a pretty good job at it, actually. And I don't mean that to be like, but it's like, it's one of the things I love to do. And in recent years, I've been able to reconnect with it a little better. See, for years, I was a road comic where I was on the road constantly, where I was never at home and I was just always traveling. And when you're starting out, in a lot of cases, not in every case, but a lot of the time, you're not necessarily going to big cities. A lot of the times, you're usually going to smaller markets, trying to establish a name for yourself, trying to build something. So that's what it was like for me for a lot of years. Now it's kind of the opposite. Now I only tour in cities because I'm trying to reach people who are familiar with the show and who want to come see Graham and myself. And a lot of times cities are just more densely populated. So it's easiest for us to come to cities or like bigger towns or something like that. So it's kind of the opposite of how it was when I started. So my point is, for years when I was on the road, I missed a lot of shows because I was out doing my own shows, or I was on the car. I was in a smaller city where there wasn't, as many live music options. Now that I'm not on the road as much, still go on the road, and we'll be talking tour dates in a minute here. But yeah, I've been able to catch more shows that I have in a long time. Pretty much, it's been like 5 years for me that I've been out of the loop. But now it's like I have my favorite punk bars. I got and LA always has a lot of stuff going on. The only problem is in LA, there's so much shit going on that sometimes you just miss. You were like, oh, so and so was here last week. I didn't even know. Anyway, I'm babbling. Point is, Burning Rubber, great stuff. Check them out. Again, that is Burning Rubber. Where can I give plasma ? EP. You can just type that into YouTube and it will take you to their music, which is pretty cool. Last article of the day, RF Hartwell shares this on the Reddit subsection, and it's a little bit of cool news, a little bit of inspiring news. A mini library mission brings together Mount Prospect community. So this is going on in Mount Prospect, Illinois. The community of Mount Prospect is coming together for a special mission, and it's all about learning and literacy. A stay-at-home dad built a mini library at the request of his wife, and from there, the mini library mission was born. And this is a mission that's not only about building libraries, but it brings a community together. So Jari Carbone, that's the guy, he talks about this. People are like, hey, are you that guy, the library guy? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. So Carbone started he built a library, and then he started building it for other people. He uses donated wood, shingles, and nails to create small libraries that are now carefully placed in the front lawns around the neighborhood. And what he says to the community, I'll build you one if I have enough materials. One lady donated a bunch of plywood. Another lady dropped off screws. Some lady had extra glue lying around, and it just kind of blew up from there. What started as a summer project for his family in June has now grown to 14 mini libraries in place with another 79 requests to go. Each library is unique to its owner, with some even decked out in technology like solar and motion lights. How cool is that? But the designs are intricate. But the concept is simple. Give a book, take a book. How cool is that? How cool is that? And you know what? I wanted to end on this story today because that's a smart lesson in community and what you can do when you really do bind together. Pun intended, huh? You know what a bunch of community libraries say, that we can really bind together as a community, right? Come on. But there's power in your community. There's power in getting involved in your backyard. There really is. That's why I'm trying to bring municipal broadband to my community. It hasn't been easy, but I'm working on it, and I'm not going to give up. And hey, we just had some good news for net neutrality yesterday. Some bad news too, but some good news. And in my opinion, and some net neutrality advocates are split on this, and I think it's just a matter of, did you see the glass half full or half empty? I saw the glass as half full. Yes, they held up the net neutrality repeal, which was terrible. But given the anatomy of the courts and given the status of the FCC right now and the players involved, that's not terribly surprising. But the good news saying that, hey, states can have their own net neutrality bills, that was a huge victory because the FCC really wanted to stamp that out, and they failed at doing so. So I don't know. The way I see it, the pros outweighed the cons there. But anyway, my point is, there's a lot of strength in your community. There's power in your community. And this is just another example, and a very heartwarming example of that being a thing. This guy's going out around building libraries making his community a better place. And sometimes when you see the federal government failing you, you kind of have to go local. You really do. And if we all go local, if we all do a little bit, well, then we'll live in a different country. That's just how it works. Change happens from the bottom up, and it kind of starts in your backyard. So I encourage you, I encourage everybody to just kind of do something, especially when there's a day where we got some shitty news, where there's a lot of not so great news today. Totally. Like go, heck, even if you just pick up a thing of litter, you know, like even if you just pick up a little bit of litter off the street, that's freaking awesome, you know? And yeah, I do believe in local power. I really do. It's one of the few things that keeps me optimistic. Because, you know, sometimes when you see what's going on in our politics and how disgusting the structure is, it's hard not to get cynical. But when you look at what can be done locally, when you look at Richmond, California, where Gail McLaughlin and her Progressive Alliance sent Chevron packing, when you look in Charlemont, Massachusetts, when a town of 7,000 people decided they wanted to build and maintain their own internet, so they sent Comcast packing. When you look at people like Mel Telkarebne here in Los Angeles, who is doing so much to address the homeless epidemic, he's doing more than the city itself is doing. Los Angeles, one of the biggest cities in the country, that is in the state that is the 5th largest GDP in the world. And one activist is doing more for homelessness than the entire city's doing. Which in some ways is sort of discouraging, but in other ways is really encouraging because it's saying, yeah, you can do something in your community. And there is power in acting locally and kind of taking it in your own hands. So let me see what you guys are saying. And I hope there was a little bit of optimism to end the stream. Guys, tour dates, I got them. Go to ronplacone.com. Do not wait, especially Australia. Australia, folks, are you out there? Get your tickets now. ronplacone.com. We're coming to Perth. We're coming to Sydney. We're coming to Adelaide. We're coming to Melbourne. ronplacone.com for all those tickets. We're going to be there in November. Also, December, we got some local stuff going on. That's Grimold and myself because we're getting ready for our 2020 tour. 2020 is going to come with a lot of tour dates. It might come with an album and a special. We'll see. Still working on that. But Grimold and I are working on our longer sets to get ready for that. And you can get tickets to Ventura Harbor Comedy Club December 13th and the Sycamore Tavern December 14th right here in Los Angeles. Get your tickets now, ronplacone.com for all those tickets. And we're already announcing 2020 dates. Tucson, tickets are available now. Orlando, tickets available now. Seattle, Portland, tickets available now. I will be in Pittsburgh. Tickets for that are available now. In San Francisco, we're going to have tickets available real soon. And we're going to be announcing a bunch of dates in the coming months here. So can't wait to see you on the road. If you want to support this show on the sustainability end, please do consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/ronplacone. For a give what you can level, you get an exclusive stream once a week. We do a patrons only stream once a week that'll be available for you, and the replay will be available for you. I also give you dialogues between myself and Lucy, full stand-up clips not available anywhere else, all kinds of fun stuff for a give what you can level, and you help me expand this show. I really want to start that cooking segment. I'm going to get to it. In the meantime, you know the drill. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same channel, right here, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.